The movie begins with a seemingly quiet pawn shop. A mysterious man dressed in black, Drake, enters. He slowly scans the shop. Then, seizing the opportunity, he places an old antique watch in front of the shopkeeper. The shopkeeper, upon seeing the watch, says, "It looks fake. You won't get much for it." But then he notices that the watch is still working. Before he can understand anything further, the watch detonates like a time bomb, blowing up the entire counter along with the shopkeeper. It turns out this was all a plan by Drake. In the next moment, more of Drake's masked companions, armed with weapons, enter the shop. In reality, this pawn shop is merely a shop from the outside. Inside, in the back, it's a den of illegal activities. Drake and his companions, after defeating all the guards, reach an underground club-like space below. Drake captures the manager. The manager panics and tells him there's nothing here. Everyone was sent to headquarters this afternoon. But when Drake shoots him in both ears to extract the truth, the manager is forced to take them to the secret room hidden behind a row of lockers, the very place they've come looking for. The room is filled with currency notes. Drake's associates waste no time stuffing all the money into their suitcases. As soon as they leave, Drake is about to kill everyone in the room to leave no witnesses. But then one of his associates stops him, saying, "Let it be. These people didn't see anything." Drake agrees and puts down his gun. But the next moment, he throws a grenade, blowing up the entire room, including everyone present. A short while later, they all arrive at the agreed-upon location with all the looted money. Their real boss, Rhodes, tells them to disappear for a few days and stop seeing each other. As always, we'll divide the money later. Rhodes also informs Druck that their old pilot is no longer with them. Their new pilot takes off for the next destination with all the money. However, due to a severe storm, his plane catches fire and crashes into the snowy terrain, carrying all the money. The story now moves forward 5 months. A man named Haran is fishing in a frozen lake somewhere. Suddenly, he sees a human hand protruding from the ice. When he removes the ice, it turns out to be the dead pilot of the crashed plane. Haran also finds his suitcase lying in the snow nearby, having somehow managed to float up. When Haran breaks the lock of the suitcase, he finds it still full of money. Haran is completely astonished. He can even see the crashed plane deep in the lake below. He takes the suitcase and returns to his tent. The next morning, at the lake's entrance, a Native American game warden, Annie, stops some tourists, telling them that the lake is closed. The ice is less than 4 inches thick. One tourist rudely asks, "Who's stopping us?" The sheriff is standing there with Annie, but he doesn't say anything. So Annie takes charge and starts locking the tourist's car tires. The sheriff tries to stop him, saying, "We get money from tourists." But Annie doesn't listen, so the sheriff has to explain it to the tourists himself. Then, the sheriff tells Annie that a local resident, Zed, has called for help. Her car is stuck in the middle of the lake, so Annie sets out for the scene. Meanwhile, we see Drake's old friend, Penn, who has now left criminal life and become a father. He is speaking to people about God when Drake arrives at his door. Drake explains that yesterday the tracker on his suitcase sent an activation signal from somewhere in the lake. This means his $20 million is somewhere under the ice, and we have all the driving gear to retrieve it. He tells Penn, "You can use this device. You're local to the area. So, with your help, we can find the place quickly." The two of them then reach the lake shore with their other 2 companions. There, Penn tells them that the ice will start melting in the next 10 hours. Just then, they notice that their tracker is also moving under the ice, either because of the current of water or because someone has found it. Meanwhile, Annie also reaches the lake to help Jade and tries to pull his truck out with a rope. Just then, she sees Haran walking towards them. Jade explains that Haran has been searching for his missing wife like this. Annie starts questioning Haran. "Do you have a fishing license?" And when Annie checks his luggage, she also finds a suitcase full of money in Haran's luggage. She asks, surprised, "What is this?" So Aaron tells him, he found the money under the ice. But Annie doesn't believe him, and after checking him thoroughly, ties his hands. Annie immediately calls the sheriff and tells him she found a man fishing here with a suitcase full of money. Just then, Drake arrives with his team. Drake tells Annie, "Maybe you took some of our things," and points a gun at her. But when they find only one suitcase in Annie's truck, Drake asks, "Where are the rest?" Annie doesn't know anything. Drake still points a gun at her. To save Annie's life, Aaron attacks Drake. Seizing the opportunity, Jade also picks up a gun and starts firing at Drake and his men. A hail of bullets erupts from both sides. But Serena, one of Drake's companions, secretly shoots Jade. Seizing the opportunity, Annie tries to escape with her truck. But her truck is still tied to Jade's truck. So, Haran quickly frees the truck, and the two speed away. But Drake's partner, Serena, also jumps into their truck. Haran pushes her out of the moving truck. But the suitcase, along with her, falls from the truck and falls through the broken ice into the lake, scattering all the money in the icy water. Moving on, Annie asks Haran, "What's going on?" Haran tells her, "There's a plane under the ice where the suitcase was found, and perhaps there's more money inside." Annie realizes they won't give up so easily, and thinks, "My job is just to check licenses. I shouldn't have done something like this." She calls the sheriff on the radio to send for help, so the sheriff sets out to help them. But then Annie's car breaks down and stops in the middle of the lake. The ice there is very thin. So, at Aaron's request, Annie releases her hands. Then, tying a rope around their bodies, they begin walking on the ice to prevent either of them from falling into the lake. Meanwhile, Drake's team also reaches Annie's broken truck, and Aaron, seeing Annie walking away, tries to move towards them. But their car gets stuck in the ice and begins to sink rapidly. They somehow pull their partner, Alice, out of the sinking car at the last moment, saving her, but their car sinks into the lake. Shortly after, another partner, Dax, arrives to help them. He has brought a snowmobile with him. Drake tells him to take the snowmobile and follow Haran and Annie, while he plans to take the stronger route with the rest of the team. Meanwhile, Haran begins to lead Annie to their tent on the lakeshore. But on the way, they reach very thin ice. Haran says, "We have to run fast and get out of here." They run on the crumbling ice, and somehow reach the shore. Haran quickly goes to his tent. He begins to take out his belongings. Meanwhile, Annie looks at a photo of Haran's family, but Haran doesn't respond. His luggage contains a bow and arrow and several bear traps. Meanwhile, Dax, pursuing them on his snowmobile, spots them on the lakeshore. But before he can reach them, Haran sets several traps along the way, causing Dax's snowmobile to collide with them and overturn. Dax, however, manages to grab his gun. Haran stops him with an arrow. A deadly fight ensues. However, Haran, trying to save himself, falls into the water as the ice breaks. Dax picks up his gun and starts shooting at him. Haran somehow swims out from under the ice to Dax's feet and hits him with an arrow. But when Dax points his gun at him again, Annie sneaks up behind him and locks the bear trap around Dax's neck. She then quickly pulls Haran out of the water, and the two escape. Shortly after, Drake's team also reaches the spot where Dax lies lifeless in the snow. Their colleague, Serena, who is also Dax's girlfriend, is utterly shocked by this sight. Drake steps forward and comforts her, but Serena, now even more enraged, picks up a gun and is ready to avenge her lover's death. Meanwhile, Annie is leading Haran to a cave in the woods, a place few people know about. Haran's condition is rapidly deteriorating due to the cold, and Serena begins firing at them from behind. Annie sees their footprints on the snow, so she leaves the snow and starts walking along the water path with Aaron. But Penn, following behind, realizes they've taken the water path. Emerging from the water, Annie begins to erase their footprints with a twig, but Penn, also a local, doesn't give up on them. He stops everyone in the dense forest and tells them that this place is a sacred, medicine wheel and bear territory. But no one pays much attention, and Serena gets caught in a bear trap. Everyone rushes to her rescue. Seizing this opportunity, Annie and Aaron quietly escape and enter a series of large caves, eluding Drake's team. Drake and his companions also somehow free Serena from the trap and enter a nearby cabin. Serena's leg is badly injured, so everyone cleans her wound and begins treating it. Back in the cave, Annie lights a fire to keep Haran warm. She asks Haran, "Is it true that you're looking for your wife?" Haran replies, "No, my wife is dead." Haran then tells her his story. "We lost our daughter while I was in Afghanistan. She died of a lung infection, and by the time I returned home, my wife was already devastated. She started staying away from me. She stopped talking to me. The whole house became silent. I too resorted to alcohol to cope with the pain, and I didn't even realize how long my wife had been lying there dead." Annie learns that Haran's wife, like her, was a Native American from the same area. So, understanding Haran's grief, she tells him that we have a purification ritual. It helps us mourn our lost ones and move on. This ritual can help you overcome your guilt too. Meanwhile, Rhodes, the real boss of Drake's team, arrives at the cabin to meet the rest of his team. Drake immediately explains the situation to him, saying that everything is under control. The only problem left is a game warden and a hunter. Rhodes reassures Serena that they will definitely avenge Dex's death. Rhodes then tells them that there is a member of their team who had already hatched a different plan to steal the money from them, and he points to Alice. Alice, terrified, begins to apologize, but Rhodes calmly stabs her in the chest, killing her. He declares, "Tomorrow we will kill the warden first, then the hunter." The next morning, as Annie and Haran leave the cave, they are stopped by a man named Oz, whom Annie recognizes. He calls Annie alone and tells her that in their community, it is believed that Haran seduced his niece. He went and is responsible for his death. But Haran angrily says, "That's not the case. We loved each other." Annie interjects, "First, we have to escape from those people." Oz and Annie belong to the same community, so he agrees to help them. Oz takes them to the lake with his companions and shows them the highly explosive methane gas trapped beneath the lake. Oz then takes them to his hideout and taunts Annie. "You've lost your connection to your land. You've sold yourself by wearing this uniform." But Annie says, "By wearing this, I'm protecting my land and my people." Later, Haran goes to Vaj and says, "Those who have come to kill us are looking for a plane containing millions of dollars. I don't want money, but your tribe could benefit from it." Baruch further enrages him, saying, "So you've come to buy our forgiveness with money." A short while later, the sheriff arrives and tells Annie, "Backup is coming. Just tell me where the plane is." He wants to know the headquarters location, but Annie is surprised because she never told him about the plane. Then the sheriff takes Annie aside and tells her, "We both can benefit greatly from this. If we return their money, they've promised me a 5% share, which we can split." But Annie refuses, so the sheriff pulls out his gun. He forcibly forces Annie and Haran into his car and leaves, heading for the lakeside, to hand them over to Rhodes and his team. Haran tells the sheriff, "I can take you straight to the plane. You don't need to help them, just let us go. I have a GPS tracker in my bag, and it contains the coordinates of that location." But as soon as the sheriff reaches into the bag, his hand gets caught in a bear trap, causing the car to overbalance and flip violently. Rhodes and his men see the car overturn from a distance and start moving towards them. Haran breaks the window and pulls Annie out. But the sheriff points his gun at Haran again and starts firing. Haran tries to reason with him, but Serena shoots the sheriff from behind. She is advancing towards them with her entire team. Haran somehow distracts her and takes the sheriff's gun and shoots him. But Drake also shoots Haran from behind. The bullet hits Haran, but he doesn't die. Rhodes orders Penn to kill Annie, but since becoming a father, Penn has become averse to violence. That's why he refuses to kill Annie. So, Rhodes, in a rage, shoots Penn. He's about to shoot Annie too, but before he dies, Penn lights his lighter and throws it at the sweet gas trapped in the lake. This causes a fire to erupt throughout the area, burning Rhodes alive. Haran somehow escapes the fire and reaches the shore and frantically searches for Annie. But Drake is still alive, so he captures Annie and threatens them both. "Take me to the plane, and maybe you'll both survive." Drake shoots Annie in the left ear to scare them off, and then fires the next shot at her right ear. But Annie tries to escape, so Haran seizes the opportunity and attacks Drake. But Drac again overpowers Haran, so Annie musters all her courage and attacks Drac from behind. Haran quickly runs out, but Drac immediately leaps out and attacks him again. They are about to finish Haran off when Annie jumps in again, trying to save his life. Finally, in the ensuing struggle, Haran stabs the tip of a broken oar into Drak's throat and delivers a powerful kick, sending Drak crashing into the frozen lake. For the next few days, Haran fasts alone in the middle of the lake. This is preparation for Annie's tribe's purification ritual. During the ritual, while Haran is meditating with everyone, he suddenly sees a vision of his dead wife. She slowly moves toward him, as if saying, "Forgive yourself now." Haran's eyes fill with tears, but with a heavy heart, he lets her go, finally freeing himself from his deep guilt. A few days later, Annie tells Oz that the police have found the plane at the location Haran had indicated, but only 4 million of the 20 million rupees were found. Oz pretends to be surprised, and then Annie learns the truth. Haran had already withdrawn the remaining money before the police arrived and given it to Oz and his tribe so they could build a new community hospital for their community. Finally, Annie arrives at the lake to meet Haran, where Haran is teaching Annie's little daughter how to fish. There is a sense of relief on both their faces, as if after all the struggles, they have finally found their rightful place. The movie ends with this. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you liked the story, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.